Okay, today I am very happy to invite Andrew. Andrew, you want to say hi?
Hi everyone.
Can I just introduce about Andrew? Okay, Andrew has been with us since 2010. Okay, he has been in the business for 10 years now. Is it 10 years, Andrew?
Yep, just slightly more than 10 years.
Slightly more than 10 years. Okay, Andrew actually graduated in Australia studying computer science. His first job was in Toyota Asia as doing IT project management for 3 years before he joined real estate. Okay, in terms of achievement, he has constantly been in preeminent group annual top 50 since 2013. Okay, in terms of ERA level, he has consistently been receiving the top achievers award consecutively since 2012 all the way till now. Okay, ranging from monthly top 50, annual top 200. Okay, just wants to be a bit more specific. In year 2018, he was positioned 146, okay, out of 7,000 over agents. Last year, in April, he was positioned 11, okay, out of 7,000 over agents. Okay, and something to highlight, he was actually awarded Centurion Cup twice. Okay, Centurion Cup is actually one of our highest accolade whereby salesperson achieve more than 100,000 in a single month. Okay, so very glad to have you, Andrew. Okay, today I bring Andrew because I want Andrew to share with us about his investment journey and also very much on his investment opinion. Okay, the topic today will be well-known but little understood methods to choose a profitable property. Okay, Andrew, can I get you to share a little bit about your own personal investment journey so far? Okay, so that everybody have got a background about yourself. Andrew?
Okay, I think my first step to property investment was maybe accidental. But back in 2009, my then girlfriend and we booked our first DBSS in CMA at 408,000. In 2009, that was very, very expensive. So a lot of people say, hey, you crazy. How come you can get a 5-room flat resale in the same area, much bigger? So everyone says it was very expensive. But of course, because we needed it, we wanted to use the grants. And as our first home, it was also like just across the road from my parents' place and also very near my parents-in-law's place.
I see.
Yeah, so we stayed there for like just after MOP. So we stayed there for 5 years. In 2016, the same year where HDB also clamped down on the decoupling for HDB flats. So initially we wanted to do that, but because they clamped down, that then 2 months later was MOP. So we had to decide whether are we gonna carry on staying there or sell. So we decided to sell. Of course, it was the value already appreciated more than 50%. So we sold it and we bought a 3+ study condo in Simei as well because we are very used to staying near the family.
I see.
Living there since. Yeah. So looking back, the DBSS flat, the price has stagnated in the last 3 over years.
Didn't go up anymore, right?
And also I also seen many start to sell much lower. And so we are actually glad that we let it go early and then we start our asset progression as soon as possible. Yeah. Then 2 years ago, before I turned 35, we bought our second property in West Coast, which is Twin View. That was for investment. Now it's under construction and it will probably be ready by end of the year. So we will rent it out and probably our tenancy will also pay off the mortgage loan installment because we didn't take a maximum loan.
I see.
So for the first
your HDB, now you own 2 private property now.
Yes.
Okay. Good to hear that. Anything else?
So, I mean, for the first property or the current property that we have, honestly, it didn't appreciate as much, but because still it's for own stay. And we also managed to upgrade to a larger place and with little cash upfront. So because of its attributes, the location and the rentability and the yield, which I'm also going to talk about later,
I see.
in future I can rent it out easily. And if we manage to upgrade it to a larger unit next time, then I can use this as uh, uh, for renting.
And how many bedrooms are you staying now? And what is your where is your dream home?
Now I'm saying I have 3 bedrooms, one study room where I do my work in. Of course, my dream home, if money is not an issue, then of course it will be a freehold development in District 9 or 10
Okay.
in River Valley with at least 1,006 square feet, 4 bedrooms plus one utility. That would be my dream space.
Oh, Martin Modern, Martin Modern.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are thinking about 4 bedrooms now.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
For future potential. I mean, if parents need to stay in with us, then at least there's one more room.
Okay. So you see, viewers out there or potential buyers out there, is there anything that you will normally advise them before they choose their dream home? A couple of things that they should know, okay, before buying a property. You want to share a few?
Okay, so usually if I approach them, I genuinely want to help and not really just wanting to sell them something. So
Okay.
uh, it might sound cliche, but the key is really understanding their needs.
Okay.
So asking them questions, probably asking like what they saw already, if they already started on their property journey, what they didn't like about the development or what they like about the development, what is their dream home. Probably they might already see something that they like in the past. Maybe they went to a friend's house or a relative's house and they dream that next time I also want a property, something like that. So I'll ask questions like that and then really listen and really just down to understanding what they want. So sometimes they just need advice to steer them to a direction where uh, they are already looking towards, but they just need more assurance and perhaps more factors to push them into a purchase and make them confidently buy into that area or buy into that property.
Yeah, but in our area of work, sometimes we really meet a lot of confused customers. They really don't know what they want.
Yep. Because, I mean, in my opinion, I think now home buyers are very savvy.
Yeah.
They watch investment videos. There is a lot of reports online. They have many property agent friends, so they might get too focused on buying a property as an investment that must make money. Yeah. So sometimes if they already confirm a purchase, sometimes they might buy something that's too small for their needs
Mm.
and too focus on the price appreciation, which is in the future.
Okay, so you're referring to people who actually need the property more than investing in a property lah. Sometimes they over focus on the investment part and they compromise on their necessity.
Correct. So I think we as agents, we need to balance that out with their real needs. So for example, if it's like a family of 4 to 6 people, the reason why they want to upgrade from a HDB flat is because they want bigger space.
Hmm,
So sometimes a new project might not be able to fit everybody inside comfortably.
true.
Then we might need to recommend resale developments, maybe a full 4 bedroom with a larger floor plate. Yeah.
I see.
So that's why I mean, us as agents, we really need to guide them into purchasing a property that is resilient in value, and not just because I want to move into a private property, then any kind of private property is okay, or just because it's cheap or it's undervalued or the PSF is very low doesn't mean it's a good buy.
True, true. Okay, today I'm going to zoom in a little bit more onto your investment opinion.
Hmm.
Okay. I think this is something that a lot of consumers out there they lack this kind of knowledge. They know there's such things, but they never go into details. They seriously don't know how to compare and how to look at this thing. Okay. So I want to ask you, based on your own investment opinion, right? Can you name just a few good attributes, okay, to be so-called a good project, a good condo? Yeah,
Okay.
maybe just share a few attributes that you will look at lah.
Okay. I have a few, but maybe I just focus on 2 to 3 for now. If we have time, then we can talk about it later. The first one is, I think everybody knows is location.
Mm.
So they always say any property you buy is always about location, location, location. So location is definitely important. Uh, I think everybody wants a property in the best location that is near major amenities, uh, like a shopping center,
Mm.
uh, eateries around you, supermarket, so that all your daily necessities are just a short walk away. And good location would mean it's very convenient,
Mm.
transport is seamless.
Mm.
So uh, definitely needs to be close to a MRT, which is a major transport for everybody,
Yeah.
and of course amenities. So a good development would need to be at most maybe 10 minutes walk away from the major amenities or the MRT. So which is like less than 600 meters to
600 meters to MRT station and shopping center.
center, and that should count that it's close to MRT. Then you really get the MRT effect, the value that helps retain the value of the development. So of course, the nearer the better,
Mm.
but not all the time we can get something that's right next to the MRT, or the
True.
price is shown in the asking price. Yeah.
But in terms of location, still
Mm.
on location, like we always talk about region, district. Is this something part of location as well that you will want the viewers here to actually consider?
I think every district has its own selling point,
Mm.
because what the government really has done is to uh, decentralize all the different business hubs.
Mm.
So north, south, east, west all have places uh, of jobs, of where people will. There's a lot of people who need to work in a certain location. So if the development is near to that, like let's say in the east, if you're near Changi Business Park, then you get a lot of demand from there,
Mm.
because people still want to live near where they work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then then it boils down to the next point, which is rentability. But
Rental.
but being the location also, um, if it's near a MRT or amenities, then it becomes more prominent. So a more prominent development will also make it more high demand later on, because when people walk past it, then they'll be like, oh, if only I can buy one unit here, because it's so convenient. So that will naturally bring in demand when it's more prominent.
I always, before I join the property, I always want to stay in Costa Ru because every time when we drive past ECP, we will see.
Yeah. So yeah, prominent uh, developments will naturally attract demand.
Stand out.
Yep.
Okay, so the second point that you mentioned, did you say rentability?
Yes.
In fact, rentability is not a very common word in consumers. Everybody knows rental yield. You want to elaborate more? What is rentability?
So rentability means, in my opinion, is how fast you can rent it out.
Okay.
Uh, because I believe that if it's easy to rent out, then it will also translate to good rental yield.
Okay.
Because landlords don't need to drop their price. If they really want to rent it out, then if within 1 month you can rent it out, you don't need to lower your price to attract more tenants. So if the whole development is very rentable, then it will naturally have good rental yield. And with good rental yield, it also will ensure demand, and it will keep the value up. So of course, with a good location, there's near MRT, there's near shopping mall or other conveniences, then that will ensure good rentability, because same as owners, tenants also want to rent somewhere that is convenient, that's close to transport, then they don't need to take so much time to go to work. And of course, developments, as I mentioned just now, if it's close to a business park or if it's in the CBD, it's always a plus point. Yeah.
Mm.
So rental yield, it will translate to the price being more resilient because in the market downturn, let's say the market really goes down, then the unit will still be able to be rented out
Yes.
because the tenant is still paying an income to the landlord. Then they need not sell it off urgently, or they don't need to like slash the price just to sell it off if they need to.
At
So
least cover the installment just to tide through the period. But for people who are new into property, how do they judge rentability? Is there certain things that you look at, like transactions of rental, anything?
yeah,
How
so
do
you can tell from this one, maybe it more applies to resale because you can see the history of transactions. So I feel transactional volume is very, very important, which you can see from caveats or from transactions that have been, which you can use all the different portals to check. So this factor is quite important because it will show that there's demand in the project. So the number of transactions will also show that a lot of people like this this project, or they want to live in this project, they want to invest in this project, right? So when there's more volume, then it will also reflect the true market value, especially when the market moves up. So
people who buy new launch, because they cannot judge based on rental transaction, so they were based on the resale rental transaction to judge whether this project is rentable. Can I say that?
of course they have to look at the surrounding existing developments already and see how many rental transactions have been done in that vicinity. So for me, a good number, maybe just on rentals, it's more than 50 a year.
50 a year, but how big is the project size? How many units are there in the project to have 50?
About 500 to 600 units.
500 to 600 units to have yearly rental, 50 rental transactions. Okay. So
Since
that's something that they can take note.
since we're on this topic, then we also have to look at the sales transaction.
Okay. What about the sales transaction?
It's important to buy a project that has at least 2 to 3 transactions a month, or at least 20 to 30 transactions a year.
Why is that so important for property investment, to have volume of transaction inside this project? Why is it so important?
Because as buyers, we'll always see what's the last done price. So if the last done price is very recent, then it also can reflect the market value accurately.
Okay.
So it's like similar to stocks, when every day there's a top volume stock that's traded, and the market always focus on this top volume stock because that stock will reflect the market direction and trend. So if it goes up, means everybody knows, oh, the market is moving. So if you buy a project that has enough sales transactions, then you can always call for a price that is very close to the market value. Yeah, because if you compare that with a small boutique development where you might only have 1 to 2 transactions a year, then your asking price may be 10% higher because the market already moved 10%.
Yes.
But because your buyer saw that the last transaction was 10% lower or even lower, then they become very worried because he's going to pay the record price and no other unit has sold near to this price. Then it will be harder to sell, or you need to lower your price.
So based on your illustration, can we also say that you see all these small boutique development, because of the last done price, which is much lower, like 10% lower, is this one of the reasons why all these projects, their prices don't appreciate as fast as a big, sizable project?
Yes, I would say so, based on experience and based on looking at all the numbers and research. So let's say in a small development, maybe 70 or 80 units, good location, people will like it, is prominent, but there's only 70 or 80 units. So the development, what are the chances of a 3-bedroom unit, maybe that 3-bedroom layout only has 20 units.
Yeah.
What are the chances of many owners selling it at the same time?
Rare.
Maybe one a year.
Yeah.
And if that buyer is specifically looking for that and is urgent need, that seller might not match that timing. At the same time, so even if the market moves up and no one is selling, then the price also doesn't move.
True. Makes sense.
It's a good project. A lot of sellers also just prefer to stay put. They don't want to sell.
Okay.
So that's why the price doesn't reflect the true market value if there's no transactions done.
Okay. So I hear on the volume of transaction, rentability, and also location. Any other attributes that is important to your investment?
Probably this one is also very important, which is the transformational plan.
Okay.
We need to know this because when we buy a property and we know that it's near an area where it's going to or it's going to undergo transformation, then it will mean that this area will have major growth and it will have a future story in this area. So if we buy a place that has potential for major developments, then it's more likely that the growth, once the growth is completed, the area will have more demand because there will be more jobs created near it. There will be more convenience near it, and it will be related to all the factors that I mentioned. So we can
have a location whereby they actually benefited because of this transformational plan by government. Is there a location that you can give our viewers some example because of this?
Just one example, which the growth plan is not completed.
Okay.
Jurong itself, Jurong East.
Prices went up already.
But the whole growth plan is not completed. So let's say J Gateway, yeah, those that bought much earlier, now they're already sitting on a lot of appreciation.
Okay.
Because they believe that Jurong would be growing, and based on the master plan that the government set, that would be the second CBD.
Yep.
Of course, now it's still in the early stage, but in Jurong already they created all the shopping malls. They built
Hotels.
hotel, offices, grade A offices, and many MNCs all shifted there already. So with that, it created demand and rentability. Then there's convenience, and because there is a growth plan, then prices will still continue to grow.
Okay. Anything else on transformational plan that you want to touch on?
I think people will want to know how do they see this. I can touch on it just a little bit. We know the government's vision in the different areas through the master plan. It can be online. It's actually transparent news, or you can go down to URA Center, and master plan is reviewed every 5 years, and the government release it together with the highlights of each region to give us a preview of what will be upcoming in the area. So there are different growth areas. Maybe I just name a few, like central downtown area, where Marina Bay and Shenton Way, that one will be up for more growth. Congo Digital District, PM Lee also emphasized on that. Kallang River is also going to undergo major transformation.
Yes.
And of course, in the long term, Paya Lebar Air Base, they are going to move it out, but that will be another 10 years.
Yep.
Then of course, the big thing is the Greater Southern Waterfront. Yeah. So all these are the growth areas, and they are all stated in the master plan very clearly what will happen. Yeah. So before shortlisting a property for my clients, I will always check what's the future growth of this area, and then try to study what will be upcoming and what will be the demand that can happen next.
Okay. Hey, do you have any case study that you can share, like any specific project?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have?
For example, Marina Bay. Marina Bay, why I have clients buying Marina Bay now is because I showed them the master plan,
Yeah.
the government envisions, right? So basically, if you know where Marina Bay is, you can see all the huge plots of land between Marina Bay Sands, MBS, and Gardens by the Bay. So it will be transformed. Next time, it will be transformed to like ultra high rise residential and business skyscrapers, and
Yeah.
of course, even the land scarcity in Singapore, especially right beside the sea and in the heart of the business district, the prices of the future land plots that's in front of uh, Marina One residences, they will only get more expensive. So that's why it's very wise to enter now with
Mm.
Marina One still offering very attractive prices to purchase.
Okay.
And of course, it's very rentable
Yeah.
because I did study the rentability there.
A lot of
And
transactions, right?
a lot of transactions, and because it's just surrounded by grade A offices and there's expats coming in every other week.
Yeah.
So I managed to rent out the unit that was bought by my client within 1 week of collecting keys, and it's enjoying a full 3% gross rental yield, which is very rare for a high-end prime district property. Yeah.
Mm.
So with the future potential right in front of it, I think this investment is very, very safe.
Having you talk about Marina Bay, during this COVID-19 period, I actually rent out $8,000 Marina Bay unit without showing, without seeing the customer.
So it's good.
Yeah.
It's still confident. The market still has demand,
Yeah.
especially in a good location.
Yeah, in a good location. They just asked me to send some videos and he just took up the unit.
Yeah. Supply is low for big units there.
Yeah. Supply is low for big units. Okay, thank you for sharing. And I also want to ask, okay, is there any project in mind, okay, based on your own investment opinion that you think buyers should take a look, consider, okay, if they want to venture into their property purchase, they probably just begin their property journey. Okay, which project is good for consideration?
Okay. If they just gonna start on the property investment journey, then probably we look at something that is more mass market, that is affordable, a good entry price. So I think Treasure at Tampines is one project that I would recommend very strongly.
Okay.
First, there is demand and there's transactions around. So even in the HDB sector or the segment, um, it's always having the top sales volumes every month in Singapore. So
Yeah.
that shows demand. People still want to live there.
Hmm.
So that will translate to the HDB upgrader market. So when the new flats or even resale flats, when they reach the MOP, they would want to upgrade to something that is private property, and Treasure at Tampines is something that they would want to consider.
So one of the attribute is on the HDB upgraders because Tampines itself is supported by I think 80,000 units of HDB around there.
Yep. And they're injecting another 10,000 more in the next few years.
Or
So
in the northern part of Tampines.
it will only grow more. And
Okay.
of course, when all that whole area of BTOs, when they MOP, they will definitely want to sell and then find something to upgrade to. So Tampines, Treasure at Tampines is situated between two MRT stations, which is Simei and Tampines. So it's within 600 meters to Simei MRT, so it's about 6 minute walk. And of course, there's the master plan support. The government wants to uh, grow the Changi region or the areas that are close to Tampines and Changi, because they're going to build Terminal 5.
Mm.
Terminal 5, if you're not sure of the size, it's going to be 2 times bigger than Terminal 1, 2, 3, and 4 combined.
Really?
Yes. So
Okay.
it's going to be very, very huge, and that will be completed by 2030. So that would definitely create a huge supply of jobs, especially in the air crew or the flight management, the airline related, which most are very well paid jobs. And naturally they will want to live nearer the airport. So that will create big demand for a development like Treasure at Tampines, and quite assured because by the time 2030, Treasure at Tampines will still be only like 6 to 7 years old, which
Mm.
is so. As Singaporeans, they always want something that is quite new or close to new. Yeah.
Okay, so you think rentability for Treasures has got no problem? Location is 600 meters to Simei MRT, right? Okay, then also on the transformational plan. But I remember some consumers, they always want to mention, I just want to ask your opinion. 2,000 over units at Treasures.
Mm.
Okay, what's your point of view about this number of units? Some of them thinks that 2,000 over units in the project is too much.
Okay. So we have to study the supply and demand.
Yeah.
In the same vicinity, is there any other new project
Mm,
close to the MRT?
mm,
That's close to eateries. That's
mm.
close to supermarket. Actually, not many. If you compare to, let's say, Simei, the newest one is My Manhattan.
Yeah.
By the time Treasure TOPs, it will be more than 10 years old already.
Yes.
Manhattan is a very small development.
Yeah.
So the choices there also not much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2,000 over units, it sounds a lot, but again, it's spread out in a very huge plot of land. There's a lot of facilities. And again, given the demand that is coming from the MOP segment later on in the coming years, this 2,000 over units will be enough to supply to them if you do if you consider selling off your unit later on. So there will be enough demand to support this abundant supply of private properties. And there's no other new land that is in this area. So you'll probably be the only one that is there. Yeah. If you
Okay.
compare it to something else that's further down, which is in the Tapestry Santorini side, that a bit too far off. If you want to consider the location, it's not near MRT.
It's
So
not even 600 meters near to MRT station for that side, right? The Tampines Avenue side.
more than 800-900 meters or even 1 kilometer. So that is not considered walking distance. Yeah.
Okay.
So when there are rental contracts there, but the rental yield is very, very low. Yeah. So that's why if you want to attract a tenant there, you have to lower your price. But if you foresee Treasure at Tampines, when the TOPs is going to be so near the MRT, then I think the demand there will be high and everyone's willing to pay a slight premium because it's so close to the MRT. Yeah.
Okay. But for this kind of mass market project, how important is number of bedrooms? Like whether is it important to buy a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom? How do viewers or potential buyers go about doing that?
I think it really all comes down to your needs. Yeah.
Or
But if you
investment,
can afford, of course, if you can afford it, then go for something bigger.
why?
Okay, so let's say now I'm recommending my clients if they can go for a 4 bedroom unit,
Hmm.
then go for it because I see the demand for full 4 bedroom units, it will surge in the next 3 to 5 years time. You see many HDB upgraders are buying 3 bedroom units now, but later on, if their family grows or if their income grows, then they also want to move on to a 4 bedroom, which now 4 bedrooms, not in each project is always the least. Yeah, so
Okay.
even in the EC segment where you see the launches, the bigger 4 and 5 bedroom units are the ones that are snapped up first.
Yeah. Always the case.
So after these 3 bedroom owners, they stay in their properties for the next 4 to 5 years, they will naturally look for something to upgrade. Then it's very likely that they will buy a 4 bedroom unit, which is the next choice. Yeah. So in Treasure at Tampines, it's only 10%.
10% of the whole project.
So if you're afraid of supply issue, too many, then buy a 4 bedroom because it's going to be very unique and it will be of higher demand later on.
Okay, so if I hear you correctly, there's actually a shortage of supply in terms of 4 bedroom. So you are encouraging viewers and potential buyers to consider buying a bigger unit, okay, in projects like Treasure. Okay, if you can go for a 4 bedroom, if you can stretch a little bit, then you should go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I ask you one last question before we end the whole conversation. Is there any advice for potential buyers? Okay, what is their 1 or 2 things they must always consider or think about before they before they start their property journey? Any advice for all these people? Is there anything they should get ready, prepared?
I think they should find a good agent
Like you? Okay.
who is really more interested to really know what they want. Because
Okay.
the main thing is knowing what you want, knowing how much you can afford, and then buying something that will be of good value later on. So that's why it comes down to those factors that we spoke about.
Hmm.
Uh, then balancing out with your needs, and then of course affordability. Uh, Actually, a lot of buyers might not know how much they really can buy up to. So sometimes they underestimate what they can buy. But after, if you speak to a good agent who can do a proper financial planning for you, and then speak to and he will help you to speak to different banks, then you are able to see that actually owning a private property might not be that difficult. Yeah.
You see, in recent years, I think there's a surge in terms of DIY buyers, people who do a lot of research on their own.
Mm.
Uh, they explore into this property journey on their own. They come up with their own investment opinion. Actually, what do you think about this?
Uh, I think a lot of buyers, their opinions might be based on hearsay, uh,
Uh,
might not be real facts. So
okay.
just talking about leasehold and freehold, because everybody says, oh, freehold is the best. Yeah.
Uh,
If
yeah,
you buy any freehold means it's good or the price will never come down.
yeah.
But uh,
Not true, right?
not really true because again, is these few factors that we talk about. If it's not in a proper good location, if it's not rentable, if it's a small development, then the chances of the price coming down is or can't even hold its value, it will be quite high. So even you purchase it for investment, you might take 3 to 4 months to find a tenant, and you have to slash your price just to attract a tenant.
Mm.
Then doesn't translate to a good rental yield. You can't even cover your monthly installment. So would that be a good investment for you?
So that's why we always have got customers whereby they hearsay a lot.
Yep.
Okay, when I think it's because property is a high ticket item. When they buy property based on hearsay and not based on what you say, like facts and figures, in fact it created more risk. Okay, when going into this property journey,
Yep.
and actually my own opinion, it is not advisable lah. I mean, a lot of your friends they buy, they also based on hearsay. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else to add on, Andrew?
Maybe I just want to talk about one last development that is very recommended in this current
Sure.
period.
Yep. What would
Uh,
that be?
because just now I talk about Treasure at Tampines. That's the affordable and good entry price. Anyway, the entry price that one is really comparable to the resale PSFs that are done in the vicinity. So that's
Okay.
why it's a very good buy. But for the prime district, I think for now I'll put my money in Copper. Uh,
Copper. Okay. Tell us more.
COPAR. Copper, not Copper.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, it's right next to Newton MRT.
Mm,
First location is prime district. 3 minutes walk to Newton MRT. Newton MRT is also the interchange of the North South line, the downtown line, and it's also within 1 km to good schools. There's ACS, there's SJI. A lot of people buy properties just to get the within 1 km of
The school.
So then it's also sitting on a large plot of land, and there's about 400 units. So that should give it quite a good transactional volume next time.
Okay.
And of course, rentability is very, very rentable. Newton and Novena, one of the top areas that tenants want to live in because of the distance to the CBD, because it's close to Orchard and it's surrounded by many shopping malls, supermarkets, eateries. So it's very, very convenient. And of course, growth, there is the rejuvenation of Orchard Road in the long term, and Novena Health City planned by 2030, and then scarcity, because there's not many other free plots of land in this area, and it will only increase the demand for this development in the future. Yeah. So, most importantly is the pricing, which is very, very undervalued. So given all these attributes and still this kind of undervalued pricing, which is the entry price is from 2001 plus to 2002 plus, that's the from price. This kind of price for a high-end development next to MRT is really, really too attractive already. Surrounding developments, they have transacted for new launch between 2005 to 2009 per square foot in the last 3 to 4 months. So you're really getting a huge, more than 20% discount off the new launch prices, if not for this COVID-19. So this is really the best time to buy such a development now. Okay. And a lot of people say, of course, when prices are very high, they say, "Oh, I want to wait for a crash." But now it's a very, very good time, because sellers and developers are very, very reasonable in the pricing.
True.
And then some wise investors always say, I only buy when showrooms are empty. So now is seriously the time.
Empty. Now cannot even go.
Yeah, now we can buy without going to the showroom with all the virtual tours.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you. Okay, so if you like what Andrew have shared, okay, you can comment below and also share our video. So meanwhile, everybody stay safe, stay at home. Okay, we will catch up soon. Okay, see you for our next video. Thank you very much, Andrew. I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.